Ignite is an ongoing series of speedy presentations. They've ranged from building multi-person pogo sticks to hacking chocolate. Any topic that geeks hold dear. Each speaker gets only 5 minutes and 20 slides that auto-advance every 15 seconds.
Hi, okay, real quick, how many of you guys have ever been to China? Raise your hands. Good, friendly audience. So I'm your typical Chinese American girl, didn't really care about China until 15 years ago. I'm gonna throw out some numbers that I think hopefully will give you a little crash course in 5 minutes. This is one we know a lot, very well, 1.3 billion, China's population. Sorry. The interesting thing is, as a result of the one-child policy in 1979, it resulted in 24 million men who in 2020 will be without wives and not be able to find anyone, which can create a lot of social unrest. The one-child policy also means that there are 2 parents, 4 grandparents for that one child now who are aging. So by 2050, 438 million senior citizens. And that's also going to create a bit of a problem. But I'd also like you to tone down, the anti-communist voice I often hear in all of our heads where we grew up, just for a second, give you a few things to think about in terms of how far they've come. 1949, 80% of the country was illiterate. And you can't modernize a country if your people can't read. Fast forward to today, 93% are literate. That's the literacy rate now. And so in the past few decades, education has been a big focus for them, especially in science and technology, but also with a purpose and goal of helping China compete globally. So what you have now is a bunch of kids learning English at a very young age in China, to the point of 300 million, I think is the latest stats. I think we're going to soon see the China surpassing US in the number of English speakers soon. Another example of how far China has come, in 1949 when the PRC was established, the average life expectancy, 35 years. So this picture is of kids, 1949, most of them you can only expect them to live 35 years. Fast forward to today, current life expectancy, 72 years. In the past 3 decades, 400 million people in China have been lifted out of poverty. And there are a lot of things that are worth noting that I think people often miss. As a result, also, you've got a growing middle class. So 100 million people by 2015 in China will be traveling overseas, tourists and business. This is actually a good thing for the US. I try to tell people they're missing out on this opportunity. We spend so much of our time whining about our trade deficit. You've got 100 million people who are going to be traveling, spending $100 billion overseas. You think we want some of that tourist dollars back and for them to leave the dollars here in our country? I think it creates a big opportunity. Another interesting fact you've probably heard, 400 million people are currently on the internet in China. And these are actually 400 million people who are not on Facebook, not on Twitter. They've got their own world that they live in. I know a lot of, when we think of the internet, those are the 2 that we think about. There's a whole other world going on that we don't know about. And to put things in perspective, one of their top video sites, 210 million unique visitors a month log on to that site to watch videos. This is their form of entertainment. It's their TV. Mobile phones, 787 million. This number always blows people away, but there's 787 million mobile phone users in China. That's double the population of the United States, all chatting and texting. To put it into context, Chinese New Year, 23 billion messages were sent wishing everyone Happy New Year. China Mobile, 522 million is the number of China Mobile subscribers. They're the top mobile company in China. iPhone tried to partner with them a few years ago and failed because guess who has the leverage in that situation? $3 billion though, not all Americans companies do poorly. Amway actually is doing pretty well. They stuck it out from 1995. It used to be illegal for them to direct sell. Now they've got $3 billion in revenue and 200,000 reps. Also big opportunity for American companies today is the car market. 75 million cars by the end of 2010 in China. Last year, the sales of cars in China actually surpassed the US for the first time. They are now the largest car market in the world. The US is no longer. 58 billion is how much Shanghai spent on the World Expo that's currently taking place right now, increasing their infrastructure and trying to really have their I guess they call it their coming out party to show that they're an international city. All this takes a toll on the environment, all this growth, and this is just one interesting statistic. There's 45 billion disposable chopsticks that are produced and discarded in China every year, accounting for 25 million trees. So they've got a serious problem that they're trying to fix. They've got also an issue that they have to look into. In the next 20 years, 400 million Chinese are going to move from the rural areas to urban. And what they're going to do is not learn from the U.S. and become suburban, gas guzzling, car freeway riding people. They're actually going to grow mega cities where you have 2 New York cities currently being built, the equivalent of 2 New York cities being built a year in China for the next 50 years. In the next 20 years, sorry. But anyways, just wanted to give you some facts to think about, and hopefully that kind of sparks some interest and you feel like you know a few more things about China that you didn't. There you go.